We are live now, and welcome back to our perspectives. We are very late today. That happens sometimes. My name is Holden Stefan Roy. I've got Baxter Words with me. As we went live, I hear the clicking sound from before again. I don't know how you fixed that, but that happened like the second we went live. But yeah, appreciate all of you coming through. This is going to be, a little quick episode, and we wanted to touch base, make sure we do something. So on that note, let's get into it right away. Baxter, why don't you tell the people what you've been up to?
Been up to a few things. It's summer in New York City, which means there's 100 events going on. There's so many people throwing events that I've been running around to. EO had a new kind of an event where we were playing like a DJ'd event where the DJs were playing like music from people in the community, and we've been working on that. We got a couple more events coming up. I think one on the 9th and another one in the middle of the month, and then one on the 29th. And other than that, just my girlfriend's about to take a trip to Easter Island. Have
Mm,
you have you have you heard of Easter Island? It's with a place with the
yeah,
heads.
yeah.
It's a 16-hour commute.
That doesn't sound very
Uh,
fun. You're not
I
gonna make
mean,
it.
no, no. I'm sure she'll have a blast. She's wanted to go to this place for a long time, but spending time with her before she leaves, and yeah. Other than that, maintaining. Holden Stefan Roy, how have you been?
Busy all of a sudden out of nowhere. Okay, so this food promo game, it's a sales world. So all of a sudden you'll be sitting there 2 3 weeks, don't have to leave the crib for nothing, just trying to hustle, hustle, hustle. Last 2 weeks I had 10 video shoots to go to where I shot a bunch of food. Once that's done, we're talking like at least an hour for each shoot to go through the footage and get that ready for the next thing. But then like it piles up with all the regular. It's been fun but busy. Basically, I'm integrating myself into the Montreal foodie influencer market because I can. I got literal invites to stuff that maybe I got a little cheat code shortcut on due to my job, but now I get to go to the parties repping the page, take a little videos, string them together and cap cut real quick. Boom, get invited to the next party. Like we went to this thing on last Thursday. It was just like all these vendors from the old port of Montreal supplying free food,
Yeah.
liquor, and massages because that's what you get in that part of town. And it's not the kind of massages that are dirty. It's more the rich
Right.
white girl spa massage. But it was just like food, liquor, massages, one guy giving haircuts, and a couple of sports people selling fitness stuff, and like three
That sounds like a
artists.
spa.
That it was a vibe. It was like in some
Yeah.
conference hall, but it was blessed. I got the media pass. I got to cut the line, all the good shit. So just embracing this foodie life I'm now in. And
That
then
sounds amazing.
yeah, it's what it's cool. It's giving me an opportunity to find some places that Flacco may actually enjoy before he pulls up, and like I have to return the
Yeah.
favor on food because I ain't be spending money on food like that, but now I don't have to, and I get to test it out.
You know what you could do? You could combine the Uber and the foodie situation and do like a food tour where you're like, yo,
Mm.
I'll drive you around Montreal and I'll show you all the good food spots. We'll go on like a food pub crawl and it'll be like one set price, or like maybe you can work it out with the restaurants, anyway.
No, honestly, because I could do that outside of Uber because I'm allowed to take people in my car for remuneration. Remuneration. I'm allowed to do that because I got a license that lets me just do private chauffeuring and shit. So there could be a whole ass hustle in that play because there is wild food out there. And you know what? There's wild
Right.
tourists in our city. And frankly, you don't want to deal with the construction driving all by yourself. It's miserable out here in these parts.
Facts.
I
Yo,
don't
to
know if
find
it's
one person who's like, yo, I got you. Just follow me. I'm gonna take you around.
home. And then you sit in the car, you let them go do their thing, or
Right.
come in with them if they like you. Turn into a party.
Right. Have
Find the
a glass of wine and drink and drive. No, don't drink and drive.
nah. That's the one thing I learned being a driver is none of that's okay. I remember when I
Yeah,
was with
can't play with
Smith
any
and
of that.
Wesson, they're like, "Yo, who wants a drink?" And I'm like, "I should probably not do this. Y'all are paying me to drive."
Yep.
But yeah, no. Otherwise, life's been good. Just kind of pushing all of everything forward, dealing with death in a logistical sense of executorial responsibilities and the
Hmm.
annoying complications of bureaucracy, and that
Yeah.
mixed with
My
food.
con-
That's sorry, go on.
my condolences, by the way, as well.
I appreciate that. It's more just like shit happened in December, and then because there's a surplus in deaths, and this is across North America, the death certificate people have such a backlog that the shit's just fucking slow. And without the death certificate, you get stuck. And then you get stuck at the
Wow.
next thing waiting for the next paper. So, like, there's just a whole delay in the Quebec death situation. Anyway, not to be morose about it, it's just one of them is taking up. It's taken a lot of time in the last couple of weeks away from
I
the
can
fun.
imagine.
But we are here and we got some stuff to talk about. Um, so I don't know if you've been following the Trump conviction at all, but I'll be real with you. I did not follow it as much as you might have been following it.
Well, I haven't been following it, but it's in my city, so like it's the headlines. I mean, it's everywhere the headlines, but New York,
Fair.
we're the one that's convicting him. A lot of people happy about it. I don't really got too much of an opinion about it. I'm just like, does this affect his ability to run for office? And I'm probably thinking it's not. Like the man, unless he goes to jail, which
But he won't.
right, he'll figure a way out of that. What is it? They just want to make him look bad. Like, what's the
Nah.
real consequence of the conviction?
Um, I think it's going to make all the people that dislike him feel wildly validated about calling him names and shit in the next election. Um,
Apparently, he's already got $200 million in donations.
Plus everything with the Truth Social
Right,
situation, where in case people weren't following that, he started his social media platform. It's a $2-3 million business, legitimately. Like, so there is a value to it, but they made it go public in the stock market, and it's kind of just turned into a de facto way for people to give money to Trump. Like everybody who
right.
invested in Truth Social is kind of just bypassing regular donation laws, because it's like it goes in and then other shares get
Goes right.
sold, the money gets liquidated, the overall value of the stock drops. So that's been how it's going. So Trump is well funded off his people, and that's the thing, is his base will never interpret it the same way as the Democratic side will. So Trump's conviction in their eyes is more, well, it's either they don't care and they just don't care, or it's proof of the corrupt system that's been a corrupt
Right,
system since he falsely lost this election in the past.
right. So it's like the people who are invested no matter how this turns out.
Yeah. Also, my understanding is this is some wildly white collar, low end white collar, like you would probably just get house arrest kind of crime if you did this normally, just because nobody
Right, because
really
I think
want
it's
to
like
pay for that jail.
it's like hush
Sorry.
money stuff. Him paying Stormy Daniels or whatever.
Yeah. So like the likelihood of anybody going to jail off that the first time around, all that shit, highly unlikely. And Trump's old as shit, and they don't usually like to put old as shit people in jail unless they got like really strong reasons to.
He's old as shit, and he's the former president of the United States. Like the kind of crime, like it would be embarrassing for America to have our former president in. Like, I get that they want to like embarrass him, but like also like they don't want to embarrass America. Well, maybe they do. Who knows?
Well,
Who
I
knows? I'm
think
embarrassed
America
already.
don't want to. What about the third party people? Do you think they have any impact? Are there third party people y'all are hearing about? Because you're up in the streets, right? Like, if New York, you get to.
No,
Because, like, for us, it's all media.
there's no like the third party people. No, there's no impact. We don't like even our newspapers are bipartisan, right? It's like we got the Post, and the Post just everything is good for Trump. immigrants are bad and fucking pro America everything, and then you got the New York Times, which is doing the opposite. So it's like there's no third opinion.
Right. As Miss Kiwi's saying, Trump's been convicted, so he's basically just been found guilty for this crime that he was clearly guilty of.
Yeah,
And so it's a sentencing that we're waiting for. But then if he appeals it, that would take fucking forever to appeal it all, right? If I'm not mistaken.
right,
And thus, there's absolutely no Highlander. There's absolutely no way that this impedes his ability to run in the election, in my opinion.
right. So what's the point? I mean,
And I
there's a
mean,
point. What is it?
also I've heard that from what the various American podcast people I listen to who have touched on it have said, that nobody's gonna block him from running at this point. Like, it's just not gonna happen.
Also, I don't, I think the Republicans realize it's in their best interest that he runs for worse or for worse, because like there's nobody else that has galvanized like that fan base. Uh, like if they don't have him, who do they have? You know?
Like, Trump slayed them all, and he like systemically took them all out one by one, making sure that nobody but Trump would be the viable candidate for the Republicans. Yeah, I don't know. I think honestly that's the big issue I think in Canadian politics too is everybody's boring. So it's like hard to galvanize or create any kind of real movement around a new player. So when one appears, it's almost like they're guaranteed to win an election for how boring everybody else really is. And nobody's gonna
And
out interesting Trump.
and that's what I said. They created a monster by feeding. Like, it's like he's
You're
bigger.
cutting out. Yeah, hang on. No, talk more.
Can you?
No. It's still all like crickety crickety. Alright, let's hope that works.
How about now?
I guess
Nah.
Nikki Haley would be a good VP choice. But does she like him? I thought she didn't like Trump. That was my understanding of Nikki Haley. I'm hoping this comes through. We're clicking, but wait, I think I can hear you. Nah. Damn, that's no good.
It does suck. I'm in
Yeah.
a if you haven't noticed.
Sorry?
I'm in a new location if you haven't noticed.
This like a new home, or are you like on vacation somewhere?
No, I'm just at my girlfriend's house.
No, now you're clean. You said you brought up your
Okay.
girlfriend, and she cured all of it. You should let her know.
Nice.
Yeah, sorry. What were you saying before?
I was saying that they created a monster by feeding into his cult of personality, because now he's like bigger than the systems that they're trying to use to hold him, Like he even when the election like came in, like his influence is so big that he convinces like he almost makes a lie the truth. He's like, oh, they stole the election, and with no proof and no like facts or research, people believe him, and then he leaves them out to dry. He's like, oh, I never told anybody to storm the Capitol. I never told anybody to do anything, and he lets people take the fall for his shenanigans, and then he's back, and it's almost like nobody remembers that, like he is such a captivating personality that it's almost cartoonish the influence he has.
Yeah, as you say that, it's like I think it's even more to the point. People are excited to take the fall for him, as though they're contributing to the master plan on some like QAnon evolution shit. Like this was all just part of some
Right.
deep conspiracy. And if Trump decides fickly that you are out, there's like it's fine. You played your part. I'm sure a few of them don't like him after, but at that point, what are you gonna do? You rolled with him, and
Right.
you made your choice.
And he's got so
And
much more influence in other sectors.
yeah, he's a complicated fellow. I think he really stands a chance at doing really good damage against Biden in this next election, but not because I think New York likes him or whatever, because I do think other parts of the country don't. I think it's because the parts of the country that don't are going to underestimate him, the media is going to underestimate him, and everyone's going to use the same cornball Trumps and asshole tactics that they used the last time around, and he's just going to swoop in like they're right, and it's gonna like kind of like both sides are kind of boosting him because the hate
And
is
also,
just good for him.
people just don't fuck with Biden. You know, like he's not different enough for people to be excited about him. He's like, oh, you're doing all the same shit that we didn't want Trump to do. You're just like not a crazy sociopath, or you're good at hiding it. You know, so it's like Trump already has his fanatic supporters, and then the people, there's no other option. So it's like, at least before, people were excited about like Elizabeth Warren, or people were excited about Bernie Sanders. Like, no one's excited about Biden. Nobody wants Biden. So like, with the enthusiastic fever support of Trump and the lackluster support of Biden, I think Trump has like a huge chance to be reelected.
But what really matters
Unfortunately.
is like his Miss Kiwi in the chat brought up the whole idea of the vice president. And I think that in this election, and I don't think Americans are gonna think like this, unfortunately, but I think this is the first election that y'all should really care a lot more about your VP picks, because that VP has a statistically
Oh
high
yeah.
chance of actually getting into office
Yep.
regardless of how this goes. Because I don't want to say that Trump or Biden are not going to survive the next 4 years, because
They're
that's a
old as fuck,
ridiculous
B.
statement. But they're old as fuck in the hardest job ever. Honestly, I don't
Biden
think there's
already
a
looks
harder
like he's
job.
being propped up.
I
I'm
mean, I
surprised
hear he's
Biden is
more
running again.
lucid and shit, and I hear he's not that bad behind closed doors. But yeah, he be looking old, and he is old. He's a
Yeah.
lucid old man, but he's still an old man. And like, you know, a lot of people
Maybe.
don't make it to 84.
Nah, let's if I'm honest, he's not like, he's lucid in the fact that like he's lucid for being on death's door. Like, for somebody who's probably not gonna make it the next 2 to 3 years, he's really like up and talking. But like, when he's talking, like, you can hear, like, you can feel a concern for his well-being. Like, he's not like he's up there like Obama, pontificating eloquently, like at length, and he could do this all night. It's like, yo, if he makes it through this speech, way to go. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's always like, we have the military. It is like, are you about to fall down, sir? Like, can he do can he do this address sitting down? Like, can we get this man a chair?
Right.
But whatever, yo. Like, this country is, it is entertaining.
You said entertaining, right? I think it clipped. You moved,
Yeah,
and whatever you had
I,
beautifully going on. No, we're
I
talking
did say
about.
entertaining.
Yeah, okay, we're good.
Entertaining.
We should be talking about the Hunter Biden jury selection started today. I don't really know a lot about that topic. Have you been following the Hunter Biden situation?
Just that Hunter Biden is a wild man who lives off of cocaine and whores, and he was doing the exact same thing while he was in the White House, and that it doesn't matter, because whatever Hunter Biden has going on is not going to affect the president. The only thing it does is it gives Trump ammunition to shit on Biden by talking about how Hunter Biden's like wild, you know. But
Mm,
ultimately, like, that's what is a unique characteristic of this election is, I don't think there's anybody who's undecided. You know, like, nobody's like, oh man, guys, you're either voting for who you're either knowing who you're going to vote for, or you don't want to vote. Like, that's the only sort of feeling. It's like, oh yeah, I'm voting for Trump, or oh yeah, I'm voting for Biden, or I don't want to vote.
right. I feel like it's going to be a weird 4 years of America with a lot of, I don't know, man. Trump's going to be an interesting choice for international politics, given he wins. And given the state of the world, it's going to be a strange period of time at that. But I guess that's a future conversation. Um, in the meantime, I don't know what else to really contribute to this, other that Trump's conviction doesn't really mean a lot, because white collar criminals get away with pretty much everything at the end of the day. Even their jail time is
especially
some
the
Martha Stewart shit.
especially the super rich ones.
Yeah, like he's fine. And even if he went to jail, he'd probably have some cushy shit going. He'd probably like have some shit happening where he'd like win an election, sitting in a jail cell, and he'd just have to like wait the 6 months he'd actually have to serve out or some shit. It would be some fucking lunacy.
They put him on house arrest at fucking Mario. They're like, oh, that was your $1 million fucking problem.
Wow, that's an interesting
But
point.
enough about.
You were clipping out again, but if he wins, he does have to travel to countries that won't accept convicted felons like Canada. Can you imagine that with the right Canadian politician? You got to keep in mind, I don't think Trudeau would do it now, but Trudeau in like his first year or two when he was in his Buck era, he may have done some shit like tried to deny Trump on some felon shit back then. And like yeah, that could be crazy that in a technical sense we could block the president from coming into our country because he's a convicted felon.
Yeah, but the reason why that wouldn't work is because Trump is also a petty asshole. So if Canada blocked him from coming in, he would like put an embargo. He would be
Really?
like no goods to Canada. He's like he would deport all your fucking all your entertainers. It was like fucking Ryan Reynolds and Drake are out of here.
Yeah, yeah,
He
but
wouldn't let he wouldn't let your basketball teams play in the fucking NBA anymore.
we've only got the one
Right.
basketball team. But yeah, you're right. Enough about Trump and them. Let us move on to a beef I don't know a whole lot about, but I did listen to the one song. Cardi B and Bia are beefing. I don't know if you've been following
hmm
that.
I have not. I saw some post about it literally this morning. Apparently, Bia slept with Offset. I think is the drama, or no? Maybe I think Cardi B was saying that Bia Bia was saying that Cardi B stole her flow or some shit like that.
Hmm.
And Cardi B was like, "I don't like you, and I don't know you, and I didn't steal shit from you." And then they dissed each other. But I don't
Yeah.
think it's like coming off the heels of Kendrick and Drake. Like this isn't gonna move.
Nah. I mean, the song also, having listened to it, in my opinion, it just is not of the same caliber of something like Not Like Us. Like you're coming
Yeah,
off of that, and then I've never really listened to a Bia song before today, so I didn't think she was the greatest rapper in the world. It felt more like she was trolling Cardi B with a diss song than it felt
right.
like she was actually trying to win. Because I think deep down in her soul, Bia knows that Cardi B would win the diss battle off between the two of them. Like, there's not a universe where Bia can legitimately hurt Cardi B,
Right.
even
If
with
anything, this is
facts.
just promo for Cardi's album, or like a little shine for Bia. Like
Mm.
nobody really. I don't think anybody is excited about this beef at all. Uh, I did see something else that was a Method Man said he's never performing at Summer Jam ever again because
I saw
the
that too.
crowd, right, the crowd
Uh-huh.
was not enthusiastic, which in juxtaposition to him and Redman rocking at the Roots picnic, which they said was amazing.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
It does. It's so interesting how um, you know how like when people are into rock and roll, they sort of are into like the old stuff first. You know, like a motherfucker will get into rock and roll and they're like, "Oh, I gotta listen to the Rolling Stones. I gotta listen to fucking Fleetwood Mac or Pink Floyd." I feel like hip hop fans, the younger generation, some of them have that sort of reverence for classic hip hop, but it's almost like it's cooler to ignore it. You know, it's cooler to be like, "I don't listen to that shit." Because it's surprising to me that even younger fans wouldn't get excited for Red and Meth. You know?
I mean, it just like I was just, I guess you were saying that, thinking about this time, the time Outkast performed at Coachella maybe 5 6 years ago. It was within the last decade,
Mm,
and they were kind of like packaged between all these EDM dudes and all this other shit going on. And if you think about like the kind of performance that a younger audience is used to, it's a lot more hype and a lot more
Right.
theatrics and a lot more pyrotechnics. Not to say that like Red and Man and Method Man don't do that shit, but like you honestly don't necessarily have to rap your songs when you do these festival things. What you're actually trying to
Right.
do is come in with the hits. And if you really look at the hype as shit, the crowd kind of does all the work. And you sit there like, and you just like smile as they rap out all your words and shit. And then like it's created this whole expectation and energy. And then you got Redman and Method Man, who I bet rapped every fucking word perfectly and shit, and like really like performed their fucking asses off, but like not in a way that these kids were expecting, sandwiched between all the other types of music on that card. Because also, look at who else was on that flyer. I don't know if you saw the other people, but
I
there's
didn't.
not a soul that sounded like Redman and Method Man around them in that. So
Right.
they were kind of like pegged in the old man role on that flyer. Like it was a strange booking, in my opinion.
Right. And I guess that does need to be considered. I'm just surprised that they don't have like, like if you fucking sandwich in, I don't know, what other who's like a rock and roll band in Blink
Hold on,
182. No matter
you're
where
like
you like
clipping in and
put
out
them,
again.
yeah, it feels like whenever I head or whatever.
Yeah, and then it like starts working again randomly. But yeah, as Preach was saying, just while you're saying that, the kids are calling Pac and Big boring and overrated. They definitely don't have time for Meth and Red.
Right. Fact.
And
That's my point. I'm like it's so cool and hip to have flippant, nonchalant, cynical out like with where like rock music are like, oh, the fucking Stones, the Beatles. I listen to the White Album all the fucking time.
I
Listen
mean,
to the album. They don't listen to the album.
but also the Rolling Stones isn't necessarily getting booked at the random festival like Rolling Loud and shit. But it's like to the booking point and thing, right? Like, but I'm certain that if like Chris Red and Meth are coming to Montreal and they're gonna be at Olympia. I don't remember the capacity, but it's a relatively sizable venue. It's maybe not like big stadium, but it's also not a small venue. So like, I'm sure they're gonna pack that place, and people that are all gonna come gonna want to see that shit. And when you do look at a lot of those rock festivals that people point to in Germany, like high key, they're booked really well. They'll put Korn with like Limp Bizkit, with like all the other fucking nostalgia acts. And yeah, there will actually, if you listen to the rock guys, their complaint is it's so fucking hard as a band in that circuit that it's almost like a 15 to 20 year, 10-year run before you can start to headline slots at these festivals. Like, if you think it's hard to break through as a rapper, imagine you're literally going against Korn, Marilyn Manson, Disturbed, and all the guys that were the megaweights from 2000 because they never give up their slots.
Right, and you're Eve 6, and you're like, listen, we got the one song. You're Harvey Danger, and you're like, all right, I'm just happy to still be rocking.
Or even worse, you're some new band and you're just
Right.
trying to come up now, which, like, they try to, but, like, if you really look at that rock world, I think you couldn't name a band often that has popped in the last 5 years. I think Ghost
Yeah,
is
I
the
suppose
last
so.
new big band I've heard of, but I'm a little out of the loop there.
Yeah, same.
So, I mean, at least with hip hop, there seems to be opportunity for a lot of young people to still push it. But I still think it's the booking, right? Like, I
I
don't.
agree with
Let
that.
me let me pull up the flyer real quick and see who was on it. Method Man, Red Man. Is it Rolling Loud
I don't know. No, Summer Jam. It was Summer Jam.
or Summer Jam? I got confused between my festivals. Yeah, who were they performing with? Because I remember looking at the flyer and being like, that's some weird shit when I saw all the people that they were booked up against. Uh, Failing to find it quick. Um, yeah, so it's Doja Cat, Offset, Sexy Red, then Method
Mm,
Man and Redman, then Sleepy Hollow, Davido, 41, and T Grizzly. I'm just like, that is a very
yeah,
strange lineup to attract the kind of crowd that might be as interested in Method Man and Redman live as you would expect otherwise, just based on the lineup. Like, you can almost
who
picture the audience
headlines?
type. Doja Cat, 'cause her name's first. I think Doja Cat's the biggest name on that. I don't think anyone there is bigger than Doja Cat at this point. I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but
And the
she
only
like
people that could possibly compete with Doja Cat is Meth and Red. And to your point, like if Doja Cat was on a lineup with like Meth and Red, fucking Cameron, The Locks, then yeah, like Meth and Red would win. But in this lineup, Doja Cat is the lead.
yeah, like I don't think any of those other acts even rap in the same kind of way as Method Man and Redman do, or even the same style of writing, like the focus on
Or
writing.
or even do the kind of performance. Now you make a valid point. Like everyone is probably like doing all kinds of fucking. It's probably more about the performance than the actual performing of the song. And then Method Man and Redman show up and they're like, microphone
And
chaka.
it was
Oh,
probably lit for like the 15 people there that came for them because most of
right,
their fans honestly probably saw the rest of the lineup and said, I ain't fucking paying to see Sexy Red.
right. Offset. What is Offset's song?
I
It's
don't
not
know.
even Migos. It's just Offset.
I don't know a single solo Offset joint off the top of my
Right.
head. I know ones he did with other people. I really like that Hotel Lobby song. I think that's with Takeoff too.
I don't even know.
But yeah, no. So yeah, that's what I was thinking is that people need to book better shows. I see it a lot locally too, where like they book some more gangster styled rappers to open for Chris Webby, and all love to the people opening. I don't want to like take away from their shine, but like from an artistic level, I would have put the White Nerds with Chris Webby a little faster. Not
Right.
myself. I don't think I'd fit. I don't like my politics and his don't mesh, but there are a little more people out there that like vibe, but I don't
Right.
think a lot of the promoters or the people who make decisions really are going that deep with it. So instead, we just kind of get mishmashed experiences where the fan bases aren't necessarily coming for it. And yeah, I don't know. That's kind of what I think about all of that.
Yeah.
And then what else do we got here? Um, apparently Eminem
And,
disses Megan Thee Stallion. Did you listen to the
uh,
new song?
did listen to the song. First of all, let me say I huge Eminem fan. Huge Eminem, like one of the biggest, biggest Eminem fan. Um, I'm not too impressed with the new song. I feel like it speaks to like some kind of nostalgia for his old stuff. Doesn't really nail it, right? Like it makes me without me. Makes me relate to this song.
Sorry, say that again. You were clipping.
But this song makes me want to listen to without me. More makes me want to listen to this song.
Yes, I feel that.
Also, I think he's disrespectful in the Stallion. I don't think he was dissing her.
I agree with that sentiment too. I think he was just being tongue in cheek. I did see a lot of criticism at him for making a Megan Thee Stallion pun and making fun of that particular situation in light of the fact that there's all these dudes that have actually done some vile shit that high key would fit the lampooning nature of a Without Me styled song that he chose to completely disregard to go for honestly the super safe and kind of trollish choice of Megan Thee Stallion. Like he chose to be a troll in that moment. I don't think it was like a diss. I think he figured this is the line. The line that I can get to without crossing is this. Because even like when he goes, I'm gay, he says Shady would say he's gay. Like you can hear in the ad lib I mean, happy. Like he's really like,
Hmm.
figured out exactly where the line is for 2024, and this is it, and it is just not quite the same.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of that. I also think he's just an older guy, and like he's not as like crazy or angry as he used to be. So I look at it as like he thought of that line, and that like Eminem's whole shtick has been like almost dad joke lines. You know what I'm saying? Like something like he'll like I don't know the line. I'm gonna fuck it up, and somebody's gonna call me on it. But he's like, I'm like Bruce Wayne with fucking Valium. I'm ready for calm, Batman. Like I'm ready for, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's kind of a bad pun masquerading
Right.
as a dope bar. And this is like more of that. It's like, do you think I'd have a shot at the feet? You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's
If I
like,
ask Meg, if I ask Meg for a song, do you think I have a shot at the feet? Eh? Like, and it's like, how am I not going to say that? Um, but I'm like, all right, it's not
but
the,
it's also
it's not the same,
he just made like a do I have a shot at a feature with Coy Leroy kind of reference in his other beef not that long ago. So like while yes I know it's not technically the same and I get the pun, but like it honestly a little bit feels like a recycled joke despite being an original bar because of the frequency of
right?
that other line.
And and also it's the only highlight of the song. I necessarily can't remember another
Oh no,
line
I'm
that he
sorry,
said.
but I gotta give him props, and it's only because of the video, right? You gotta understand. I don't think I'm ever gonna listen to this song without the video on, and I only watched it a second time so that the girlfriend could watch it with me. Um, and I'm good. I've seen it all I ever need to see it again for the rest of my life.
I, f- I feel the same way. And the chorus was like mad lazy. It was like,
Super bad. He said "bruh" with "bruh."
yeah,
Eminem literally rhymed "bruh" with "bruh." He did the thing that we make fun of all the mumble rappers and shit for doing while like holding him up. He did the thing. It was the worst
yeah.
chorus. Every other chorus in his career is better in my except maybe Drips because I never liked that one. Um, but
Um,
the video's lit,
ultimately, I think
and
he's
that with the line where he tells and fuck my kids, they're brats too, while flipping off his kids at the phone. Again, you need the video, but that line stand out as fuck for me because it's hilarious that he.
maybe. I remember there was a point in time where I was like just so into Eminem, and like as a fan, you were like so invested in like who his family was too. You're like, his mom's name is Debbie, his girlfriend's name is Kim. He had an uncle named Ronnie. Like his daughter's name is Haley. And it's like now I'm like, he's got more than one kid. Who cares?
Yeah, no, I mean, but I knew about the adopted kids, and like at a
Yeah,
certain
yeah,
point,
yeah.
um, but yeah, I knew about the adopted kids, and it's just more to me like I just think that like this song is weak flows. Like the beat though is the problem because actually I heard the song put over without me's beat, and
Hmm.
it was better. Not great,
Yeah.
but better. And this beat is the laziest fucking beat I think I ever heard ever in a pop
Also,
single.
Pete Davidson has no business being in this.
I thought the same, but he was there, and I was like, when did Pete Davidson become like that
Right.
guy? Like,
Like his charm is over. Like there was like a small point in the zeitgeist where we were like, hey, Pete Davidson, he's a cool guy. Now we're like, all right, you don't really do anything. You're not that funny. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you're not on SNL anymore. Like, knock it off, Pete.
right, he never
Skeet.
came through. But he still manages to keep himself relevant and be in the conversation. Often, my theory is he bangs really well. And because of that, he gets to hang out with the baddest bitches. And because of that, he's going to
He gets to
always
hang
be
out with
invited
everybody
to.
else.
And it's just, he's had a run that is unholy for a man of his stature in life as a SNL comic.
Right.
No
Yeah.
disrespect to SNL comics, that's still a highlight.
It's him and the other guy, and the other guy's actually funny. Keenan.
Ah.
Anyway. Anything else?
Um, I don't know about regular topics. I Yeah, I guess the Eminem songs video was good. I did like that though. I did appreciate the nostalgia, but again, it's over. I don't know
Yeah,
about other
the
big
CGI
stuff that
was pretty good
happened this
too.
week. Um, does anybody out have anything else that happened this week? I know this episode's a little haphazard, but I was not paying attention to the news this week, dealing with life, as apparently Baxter wasn't. So, if we don't have any other big topics that anybody thinks is striking or interesting, we could move into the cinematics perspectives portion of the show and where we watch the trailers and stuff.
I say let's do it. Only because I also have a heart out at 8:30
Yeah, I
to go
remember
spend
that.
time with the lovely lady.
I hear
My
you.
girlfriend's going to Easter
That'd be
Island. Did I say that
beautiful.
already? I said that already.
You did. Yeah, she's going on vacation, but we can tell the people again.
She's
And
gonna go stare at the stone heads on Easter Island.
but here's the first trailer. Make sure it's good. Yeah.
At the same time, we were young, single, private, attractive, sexy. Any more words?
What is this place? Who are you?
We're just like you, lost.
They come every night. They watch us until the sun rises again. It's a window on the other side.
They'll be very interested in someone new.
What is that? What are they doing?
Applause. For you, Mina.
Don't you want to know what they are?
That's impossible.
I mean, that seems super interesting, but it's M. Night Shyamalan, which means you can't trust it.
I was like, I don't know what's happening here. This looks like I'm probably not going to want to watch this movie with the full spectrum of all the other movies that come out in the week, and that's just the week. And it says only in theaters, which maybe is probably. It does look like it would be good in theaters, though. Like, it looks like it's one of those worth decking out in the new fancy chairs and shit and, like, having a nice theater experience, but I don't think it's going to deliver in a way where I feel titillated.
M. Night Shyamalan has a few movies in his catalog that are like great, and then he has a bunch in his catalog that are like WTF. And like the last one I remember, which might not be the last one, was like there was one where he was like people were stranded on an island, and an island like made them age rapidly or some shit like that. Old, I think was the name of it. And like there was a whole thing with like some kids who aged and then had a baby, and people were like, "What the fuck?" And I say all that to say, my uh, my what do you call it when you go through something? My method for M. Night Shyamalan movies is just to wait to see what people say about it. Like they're either gonna say that it's great or it's shitty. And if they say that it's shitty, I'm happy I don't go see it. And if they say that it's great, maybe I'll check it out.
feel like I'm good on that. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
not really my genre. And
Did you watch
yeah,
Unfrosted?
I did not. Is it good?
Absolutely not. But I need to know what you think about it though, because maybe you love it. You know?
Nah, I probably don't. I'm like I'll watch movies here and there for like the joy of it. Or since I've been watching trailers, I made an effort to watch a few more. But I just much prefer the flow and writing of a good television show. I feel like there's shows have a lot more of a listening component to it, where the visuals, yes, while they're flashy and shit, you can almost get away with treating it half these shows like a podcast for a lot of scenes, which makes it more functional for my life. Whereas movies, you gotta like focus on and shit, and I almost never
Right.
really want to do that. So I be watching wild TV shows, but like not a lot of stuff. Like right now, we watching Fresh Off the Boat. That shit's fire. You can just sit there and listen to them do their shit, and you barely have to actually look at anything that happens. But it's still good to look at the stuff happening. But if you gotta write an email or something, it's not gonna be like some shit you gotta pause, and that's more like. I feel like that's the first time I've said pause, and it had nothing to do with the like pause. It's such a long time.
I'm the opposite of you. Like I don't watch a lot of TV shows because like I'm afraid of a television commitment. Like a movie is like one sitting. Like I sit down, I watch it, I'm done watching it. You know what I'm saying? Like I almost didn't watch Dune because I was like, I don't know if I want to get into like Dune and then having to watch Dune too. But I'm glad that I did. But like television shows, I'm like, who knows how long this is gonna go on for? I don't want to have an obligation to watch this for years, you know? Like Game of Thrones, you watch it for years and then it sucks at the end. Oh,
Yeah, and then he never finished writing the books, which pissed me off. You
right.
know his last book
Because he
came
made
in
so much money.
2011. 2011.
Imagine you made
I don't give a flying
imagine
fuck.
you've
That's
already
30.
made the money. You know, you start writing books, people pay you a bajillion dollars, you're like, all right, I don't gotta finish this
I
book.
know, he started getting groupies off the show, and I don't think he ever got groupies off the books, and it was over.
Right.
Once that man started getting the fantasy girl groupies, like bro, the guy's weird. I have a strange hatred towards him for not writing these books, bro. I've been waiting like my entire adult life.
I can imagine. Once he started getting girls to Dungeon His Dragon, he was like, all right.
Yeah, but still, yeah, no, I don't think I'm gonna watch the horror flick unless, like, for some reason it's advantageous to watch it. Like, if we make content out of a reaction or something, aight, cool.
Right.
But otherwise, I'll save it. I'll save it for one of those moments. We're on the second trailer now, right? Yeah.
What's the first thing you liked about me?
I thought that you were quite brilliantly broken.
You feel like my person.
You feel like my person.
What's the worst thing you've ever done?
Static
All
key,
things.
yeah.
I shouldn't have seen any of it.
Julie! Julie! Please don't do that!
Can you hear me?
When someone dies,
A crow carried their soul to the land of the dead. But sometimes something so bad happens
That song goes
that the
hard.
soul cannot rest. Until you put the wrong things right. You were given the power of a god. But you're running out of time to save her. I'm gonna kill them. Every single one of them. And killed you.
Yeah, you did.
We have a problem. He came for us.
First impulse. Anger.
It's not anger. It's love.
Look at what you've become. You know that love promises only pain. You have no idea what hell awaits you. No, I do.
How many people have you loved?
I'll never be alone.
Well, that was a more intense trailer. I'll give you that much.
Did you see the first Crow?
No, I did not.
Are you a wrestling fan?
No, I follow the wrestling, but like I could follow some good wrestling.
Do you know Sting, right?
Yeah.
You know how his whole aesthetic is like the first Crow. Well, his later aesthetic, the black and white.
Yeah.
My whole perspective on this is like it looks like an interesting movie, but if you're not going to go for the Crow aesthetic, like the sort of traditional Crow aesthetic, then like you're sort of like starting from scratch, right? Who has took that step and ran with it for years, like face painting, leather trench coat, goth people who like fuck with the Crow aren't gonna see it because that's not the Crow they know. You know, so you might as well. You can it's like you're doing something that's like different. It's like all right, Superman, movie, and instead of putting him in that blue, you're putting him in green and orange.
It's literally what they did with the X-Men when they first did that first live action movie, and they made those black uniforms and it didn't match the comic ones, and everyone kind of had they had a field day commenting on that. They were not thrilled, despite X-Men doing quite well.
Well, yeah, but the little difference. But like the Crow, think of the Crow like there's a specific image that comes to mind. You know,
Right.
it's like they have a right.
Oh yeah, you're cutting in bad, and now it's hard to follow. Hope this fixes.
How about now?
Still a little bit. Alright, let's try.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you for now.
Okay, I'm gonna stay very still. They got a Garfield now, and in the Garfield movie, Garfield moves his lips when he, and I'm like, that little detail isn't a huge thing unless you love Garfield. Unless Garfield thing, which isn't that the audience you're going for, So it's like I don't even love Garfield. I just like Garfield, and I'm already turned off because he moves his lips when he talks.
But then, like, they seem to be doing this with a lot of things, like with Jack Harlow in that basketball movie and a bunch of other shit, where they're just like, fuck the past. We're going to actually... Because I think for a while, people got criticized for doing these new movies too true to form, and it was like they got in trouble for that, and now they're trying to come and reinvent the wheel, and they're getting in trouble for that. But...
Right, but like for the Jack Harlow, like just do a different basketball movie with Jack Harlow. It doesn't you're trying to get the audience of White Men Can't Jump, but then you're going to alienate them by not giving them what they're looking for. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're screwing yourself over. It's like when Little Yachty and DC Young Fly did How High over. It's like it has no connection to the original movie. So you're just pissing off one fan base, and you're not getting a new fan base because you're basing this on some old shit. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like when Game came out with a movie called Belly Part 2 that had nothing to do with the first Belly.
Yeah, I mean the trailer did
It's
look
like,
more
why?
compelling than the first trailer. Like I might watch that while I'm working out in trunks. Sometimes I'll be watching a movie on because there's nothing else to do while I'm working out, so I stare at the TV. I don't know if
The
that's
trailer is compelling. Like, I would watch that movie. I just don't understand why it has to be The Crow, because it's like the Crow fan base isn't gonna like it. So
I
you
mean,
could call it
if the story's fire, couldn't they not just do an offshoot to a new bunch of people?
right, but then why are you calling it something that is like, you know what I'm saying? You're just pissing off a fan base. Homeboy from Star Wars. Who's the guy that's doing the Star Wars stuff these days?
I don't know. I don't really follow Star Wars like that. This is where
Gotcha.
Flacco would come
The,
in.
there's a guy, his name. He's like the main guy in charge of like the Star Wars like universe.
Right.
And the reason why he's making shows that people fuck with is because he knows enough about the original source material that he doesn't like. He's not shitting on it. He's not like fucking it up, but he's doing new shit. So he can do the Mandalorian, and because he knows about Boba Fett, he knows about that shit. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, okay, we're gonna do it this way, and it doesn't like alienate the old fan base, and it brings a new fan base because it's some new shit. It's like we're not doing a character that was in the original 3 movies. This is a brand new character. You get what I'm saying? So it's like the Crow could be a character. It doesn't have to be the Crow, but it's like, but you're calling it the Crow, and it has no reverence for the original thing. Like it's almost like fuck the original thing, you know? So it's like you're gonna alienate a fan base, so you're not even starting in the positive, and then you're gonna like go for a new fan base doing some old shit, and it just makes for a heavier lift. I think it would, you know, just like if you're going to do something new, like, cause the movie as a standalone thing looks interesting. I agree with you. Like, this is a compelling looking movie, and I would watch it no matter what it was called. But the fact that it's called The Crow almost works against it being a good movie.
But on the other hand, if it's so similar to The Crow and they called it something else, wouldn't they just get like blatantly just like you plagiarized The Crow criticisms the whole way through?
But it's not similar to The Crow. The only thing that makes it similar to The Crow is that he comes back to life and there are crows involved. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No,
you could
I
just
mean,
not
this
have
is where
crows
I don't
involved.
fully know. I guess I don't know enough about it. Maybe you're right. Now I have to go watch the old Crow and the new Crow so I can have an opinion on this topic.
The whole shtick with the Crow is that he was murdered, and then the crows brought him back to life, and now he's killing people. It's like it's not that deep of a thing, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, oh, okay, so this is a guy who gets murdered, and he's coming back to life, and he's like trying to save his girlfriend. But it doesn't even have to be the Crow, because you're not even going for the thing, and also the thing that, like, if you were to show people a picture of the Crow, they would be like, oh, that's the Crow. Somebody dressed like the Crow, that's the Crow. It's like, you know, you don't do Beetlejuice and then dress him like fucking Pennywise, the clown, because it's like those are two different
Right.
visuals.
Yeah,
The visuals are just so important to the Crow.
comic book, and there's a deep reference to it. I respect all that. I'm not trying to dismiss it. I guess we'll see how it comes out. I don't know if you got time for that last trailer or how hard
Let's do it.
hard stop is.
Let's do it.
I was like looking around riskily.
Yeah, I was just like, always see if she was like standing at the window, like staring at me. No, she's in the middle of doing laundry, so I think I have some time.
Got an extra 5.
Mike,
Oh, she literally just showed me the time.
things are going to get bad. We're going to be tested. Just know we're good.
Tonight.
Boys,
If you're seeing this, I'm probably dead. Whoever gave the order to kill me is in the department. They're coming after you next.
You should be careful. Your people want you dead. We're being framed. It's just us, no backup.
We got 2 suspects, Lowry and Burnett.
You set the damn fan on fire! Everybody relax. The fire's on the outside. Now it's on the inside. Y'all are some terrible fucking fugitives. Put a bounty on them. They'll have it coming from cops, cartel, and every gang in the city. The bounty is dead or alive. Now I take the 3 in the front. You take the 6 in the back. Oh, no, the fuck you not. Oh, you hit? No, like jelly bean. Nobody likes that shit. These dirty cops attacked our families. We're not losing today. Ooh, I need nasty Mike. Oh, city, city, bang, bang, motherfucker. Be gone, Gator. I rebuke you. See, Mike, that's how you command the universe. That motherfucker racist, Mike. Go. That motherfucker racist. Rated R.
Is Fergie back in the Black Eyed Peas?
I mean, it would be for her benefit if she was.
Yeah.
I'd watch it.
I watched that. That looks like fun. Like, as far as this type of a sequel goes, I feel like this is going to deliver on the promise it sets out to do better than most old man versions of young man movies.
Yeah.
Mostly 'cause
Also,
Will Smith is hip still with it.
And Will Smith and Martin got a rapport that, it works. It would be ill. You know what would be ill? If they got to the end of the movie and the person setting them up was Chris Rock.
Yeah. But, like, yeah, I think that would be a good movie to watch. I mean,
And then Will Smith left.
But you can see, like, the Will Smith, I've lived a large life action effects kicking in at, like, another level because he's been so involved in production now that I really think this is going to come out visually pristine because Will Smith can't be attached to anything less.
Face still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an adventure, It's kind of like a Redman album. What was I gonna say? Oh, the one thing is, like, Martin, we all admit that, like, there's something wrong with him. And, like, he doesn't have to know what it is. It's none of our business. It's not just age.
I mean, it did feel like he was lacking a certain oomph.
Right. He's like, because, a younger Martin was a very, like, animated kind of, like, Gina kind of guy, But, like, older, it seems like there's, like, a certain, like, it on for the movie, but I see him a lot of times and he just does not seem like he's, like, has the same spark. I just hope I love Martin.
Right.
Like a family member,
I hope he's doing good too. But yeah, definitely let us know if you would go watch this movie and any of the other ones. And while normally our perspective episodes are longer than the one you're seeing today, we have in fact come up to the end of the episode, and Baxter doesn't have a lot of time left. So quickly let us know what you're going to be up to in the next week.
Follow me on Instagram at ThatNinjaWords with a Z at the end because it's hip hop. I'll be at a lot of events. I'll be hosting some events. I post events that other people do. So if you're in New York City and you want to go to some dope shit, I'll be posting those things. My homegirl is DJing at world famous Bunsen's on Friday. My friend Radar Ellis is DJing at Filthy Diamond. My homegirl Hella is performing at, I forget, tomorrow. It's just so many events. It's New York City in the summertime. So I'll be everywhere doing everything with everyone.
Oh, I'll be dealing with estate things and contacting companies to confirm how much money the estate, because being an executor is not a fun position in life. It is not like, but I feel like it's karmically worth it, like by doing it. When I pass, it's like the universe will ensure my affairs are taken care of, like it's worth putting it out like that. Thankfully the body shop repaired my car real good, so I have to go make back the money I lost paying for body shop repairs. I'm doing a lot of Ubering and fucking hustling food promo, and then who knows, possibly shooting more food. I don't know yet. It's
Holden, isn't there a Lloyd Banks show coming up?
Yeah, July 3rd.
How can people buy tickets for that?
They could holla, hit me up and get those tickets.
Yo, holla at Holden for the Lloyd Banks tickets.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, figuring out promo for that too. Just it's a bunch of logistics at this point. Just execute, writing every day, and that's the week. We'll be back next week, and soon enough it'll be a Puerto Rico situation, which I'm real excited for. It'll be like we do our perspectives, and then I'm on the plane like 12 hours later. So that'll be fucking
also it's the Puerto Rican Day Parade this weekend in New York City, so shout out to all the Puerto Ricans. I'm half Puerto Rican.
And so appreciate all y'all watching. Thank you so much for that. Make sure to follow, like, subscribe, all that. Tell your friends about us. That would be mad helpful. And let us know over the course of the week if you come up with any interesting news topics you want to see us cover, talk about, and hear our perspectives on. Don't be afraid to throw them out in the chat. We'll be back next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Appreciate everyone out there. And live long and prosper, everyone. And I just gotta start the raid, which I forgot to do. But if you gotta take off, you can take off.
I do. Peace. See you later, everyone. And peace, Holden. I'll see you next week.
Take care, Baxter. Appreciate you coming
Bye.
through and making sure we could get an episode in. As Flacco, unfortunately, could not be here with us this week, as he's out there making all kinds of good money. So yeah, peace out, everyone.